Dick Hanna Dealers post-game scoreboard show here on the Fan Sports Network. Joe Fisher III, Anthony Newman rocking with us in studio, Jordan Schultz as well. Wanted to read a couple texts here because I would say that the most, I don't know if polarizing is the right word, but the most attention-grabbing thing about this team this year is that running back room. The depth, who should be getting the carries. I mean, literally every single text we got so far has to do with the running back room. Someone did text in, didn't see any stats for Noah. He was out today. He was questionable coming into the game with an undisclosed injury.
Mysteries.
Yes, so he did not have any work today. Jaden Lamar was the starting running back for the Ducks today. He had, have it in front of me right here, he had 11 carries for 38 yards and a touchdown. You also had De'Aaron Hill with 5 carries, 94 yards and a touchdown, 66 of those yards coming on a touchdown run. Jay Harris, 3 carries for 25. Jordan Davison, 4 for 8. Mekhi Hughes, 1 carry for 5 yards. But yeah, I mean, we see the depth of the running game again this week, Anthony.
Well, you saw the future of the running game at one point when D. Hill scored. He had Davidson as the fullback, which is not the fullback, but there's 2 backs in the backfield.
Which
they're side by side. But Davidson, he's what, 6'2", 230.
Yeah, he's
the big boy. Yeah, he's the big boy. But D. Hill can do anything. He's a receiver. He's a running back. I mean, what else could he do? He reminds me. I'm not saying he's not D. Anthony. It's not that. But he can do different things, and he's dangerous. You can put him all over the field, which is tough to defend because you don't know where 23 is going to line up. And then, hey, somebody has to guard 23. Well, do we take a safety? Do we take a corner? Is it a linebacker? That's a matchup problem, along with the other, guys who can play on this Oregon offense like Kenyon Sadiq. I mean, he's ridiculous. But did you see him blocking? Did you see all the receivers blocking downfield? That is a positive for this offense. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I haven't seen it from any other offense in the Big Ten or whoever they're going to end up playing. Receivers don't block downfield normally. These guys do.
That's actually one thing I wanted to praise the Ducks for this week, Anthony, and you get right into it. Not only, Jordan Davison, I said it a couple weeks ago, he's like the new Cyrus Habibi-Likio. He's just that, big up front, but still got speed at the running back kind of guy. I mean, he's already got 5 touchdowns for Oregon this season. When you look at the plethora of touchdowns spread out, he leads the team because he's got the most strength and he's kind of your, up front, force it in the middle kind of dude. But on top of the blocking from him, like you said, Anthony, have blocking from the rest of the running back room, the tight ends, and the receivers. I went back and watched film of the Oregon-Oklahoma State game last week, and you could just see it. We were praising the offensive lineman, Joe, on last week's postgame show, but you could see Kenyon Sadiq and the cut blocks over the stunting that the wide receivers were doing. Everybody was nailing their blocks, and obviously when you're crossing over, that's when the defense gets confused. That's why you do those stunts and those pulls. Oregon's offensive line and their skill position players are blocking, at least what we've seen, I'd say about an 80% clip today. They are blocking every single guy, and they're doing it with vigor. It's something I've never seen from an Oregon team before.
Also, going back to the running back group, here's my question. How do you keep these guys? You have so many, right? And think about this. You always have a bell cow. But the bell cow, usually he carries, 25 carries a game? Maybe 27? These guys are getting 3, 6, 5, 8, 10. Do you get loose? Do you get, lathered up in the game because, you're getting used to carrying the ball, you know how it feels. But if you're only getting 3 touches, how do you get loose?
Yeah, it's a great question, but it just kind of seems that in college for the most part and what we've been seeing in the NFL, that the bell cow running back, it's a rare breed.
I know.
And this is one of the texts that we got, feed De'Aaron Hill Jr. averaging 14.5 yards per carry. Quit effing around with Lamar and Jay Harris. Well, I kind of pushed back on that. I'm like, I don't care who. Last week, Lamar had 12, 13 yards a carry. Yeah. So to me, it's just, spoiled with riches here. Like whoever's the hot hand, ride it. Next week we could be sitting here talking. Mekhi Hughes maybe has his breakout game against Oregon State.
Yeah.
Maybe Jay Harris has a breakout game. I mean, to me, it's if I've got 4, 5, 6 options in the running back room, and how those guys talk, they're all happy for each other. Also, which, saying it is one thing. I'm sure Mekhi Hughes, that is a big question mark with what he did at Tulane in the 2 seasons that he had there.
1 carry today.
And so it's been kind of a slow start for him, and people probably expected more, but as a Duck fan, as someone who just wants to see a win, and that's kind of what it is. That's what you want your locker room to be like, is did we get the win? Did we all contribute? Did we all help get the W today? What did we have to make sure this guy got this many catches, this many runs? To me, if there's a guy that is standing out, give him the rock. And if it's somebody else next week, give him the rock.
Well, also people need to understand it's not just running the football. It's blocking, being a receiver out of the backfield, knowing the checks. You have to be a smart football player, and that's what they're looking at. And can you do other things? Can you play special teams as well? I mean, sometimes, if you're not the bell cow, put you back on punt return, on kickoff return. We'll find a way to get the ball in your hands so you can do more. But I think it's just Oregon is lucky. You don't have this. You don't have 8 guys who can run the football that can start anywhere. It's just. So it's going to be hard to keep all of them. After this year, I'm telling you, you can't keep all these dudes if they're getting 3 carries a game.
I do, though, think that the absence of Noah Whittington might have, on top of the time and the travel and everything, contributed to their slow start, because they got a couple of first downs and then went 3 and out in that first series for Oregon. And Whittington, what was it, a 40-yard run? Play 1 of the season for Oregon in game 1, and then game 2 he capped off their opening drive with like a 60-some yard run. So that experience, and that familiarity with Oregon's offense, I think helps kind of set the tone. And I do wonder, despite the talent in the running back room, if the absence of Whittington might have played a little bit into that slow start today as well.
Yeah, the Ducks running back room, though, gets total 30 carries, a couple carries for Dante Moore, Luke Moga getting in there. Riggs got a couple carries as well towards the end. 30 carries overall, 176 yards, 3 touchdowns, 5.9 yards a clip, though. I mean, that's an efficient running game there, Anthony.
Yeah, I'm not going to complain at all. 176 yards, and you had 8 guys carrying the ball.
Well, and
guys arrested.
Exactly. Who's getting injured?
Guys arrested.
If they're carrying it 10 times as opposed to one bell cow.
They're healthy.
30 times for 10 games.
Yes, they're healthy.
Another text here that's interesting. These running backs nowadays are perfectly fine getting 10 carries a game and not getting run down, then going to the NFL fresh. Georgia and Bama have been doing it for years. It's a good point. If you have a guy that is getting 20, 30 carries a game in the first 4 or 5 games, and then you're trying to depend on him late in the season, and he's like, I have been hit so many times. I have been rocked so many times. And I think that's a great point to bring up, is that these guys are going to be fresh throughout the season because they're rotating in. They are not being run down, and halfway through the year they're tired.
You're happy when you have success and you're running the football and you have maybe 110 yards or maybe 97 yards. When you only have 4, you have 5 carries and you have maybe 16 yards. Can I get more carries? You're going to complain. Yeah. I need more carries.
Yeah, I think you do bring up a great point. And it's something, Dan and the staff are going to have to address once we come to the end of this season is, some of these guys are going to be happy with their performance this season and happy with the team's performance, but they're going to be like what Mekhi Hughes probably felt like coming in this year. It's like, I did this at Tulane. I had great years. Let's step it up a notch. Let me be the guy over at a Power 4 program like at Oregon, and then maybe Jay Harris, maybe Jalen Lamar. Jalen Lamar, he's been waiting his turn, so he might be sticking it out over here. But there's a lot of guys, a lot of mouths to feed in that backfield. That's a good problem to have. That is a good problem to have.
I'll take that any day.
Yes, sir.